Hey there, beautiful souls, and welcome to another episode of Uncovering Your Inner Power. I'm your host, Jill Ripley, and today I want to talk about something that I think many people on a spiritual path eventually encounter, but not many people talk about openly. And that is the very human reality that spiritual teachers are still human beings. Now, the reason this topic has been on my heart lately is because something came across my awareness about a spiritual teacher whose work has influenced my understanding and beliefs about spirituality and the universe for many years. And I found myself feeling something that I imagine many people have experienced at one time or another. And that is a sense of confusion and disappointment when someone whose words once inspired you appears to fall short of the image that you held of them. And I want to be very clear here. I'm not here to judge anyone, and I'm certainly not here to accuse anyone of wrongdoing. What I'm reflecting on today is something much deeper than that. I'm reflecting on what happens within us when the people we once looked up to reveal their humanity. When it feels like their actions have left a stain on the image of who you thought they were. Because when someone's words have helped you through a painful or transformative time in your life, it can feel unsettling to suddenly question the person behind those words. And if you've ever felt that way, I want you to know that you're not alone. Many of us come to spiritual teachings during vulnerable moments in our lives. Maybe we're grieving, maybe we're searching for meaning, maybe we're trying to understand why life feels the way it does. And when we come across someone whose words resonate deeply, whose perspectives seem to illuminate something inside of us, it's natural to feel grateful for that person, and sometimes we even place them on a pedestal. We assume that because their words carry wisdom, their lives must reflect that wisdom perfectly. We assume that someone who speaks about consciousness, compassion, and awakening must have transcended the very human struggles that the rest of us are still navigating. But the truth is, spiritual insight does not erase human nature. Every teacher, every mentor, every guide is still a human being. They still have their own conditioning, their own blind spots, and their own areas where they are learning and growing. And sometimes those imperfections become visible in ways that can feel disappointing. When that happens, it can shake something inside of us. It can make us question whether the teachings we once found meaningful were somehow misguided, or that their actions somehow invalidated their wisdom. But this is where I think an important realization can emerge. The message is not lost simply because the messenger is flawed. The truth does not belong to any one person. Wisdom is not owned by the teacher who speaks it. The teacher is simply someone who helped illuminate an idea, a perspective, or an insight that may have already been stirring within you. When a teaching helps you heal or grow or see your life differently, that experience is real. The transformation you experience does not disappear simply because the person who shared those ideas turns out to be imperfect. In fact, realizing that teachers are human can become an important step in our own spiritual maturity. In the early stages of a spiritual journey, it's common for people to look outside themselves for answers. We look for someone who seems more evolved, more enlightened, more certain than we feel. But as we grow, something begins to shift. We start to realize that the purpose of a teacher is not to become someone we depend on indefinitely. The purpose of a teacher is to point us back to our own inner knowing, to help us remember that the deepest source of truth isn't outside of us, it's within us. And this is where discernment becomes such an important part of the spiritual path. Discernment is the ability to listen to teachings with an open heart while staying connected to your own inner compass. It means asking yourself questions like, does this resonate with my deeper sense of truth? Does this teaching empower me to think for myself? Is this helping me grow in awareness, compassion, and responsibility for my own life? Discernment doesn't mean rejecting every teacher who shows human flaws. It simply means remembering that no human being is the ultimate authority over your spiritual journey. Not me, not any author, not any guru. The most empowering teachers are the ones who remind you of that. They don't position themselves as the source of truth. Instead, they offer perspectives that helped them along their own path and invite you to explore those ideas in a way that feels authentic for you. Because ultimately, the real transformation doesn't happen in the teacher's life. It happens in yours. And when you reach a place where you can appreciate the wisdom someone shared while also recognizing their humanity, something powerful begins to unfold. You stop searching for someone to follow, and you begin walking your own path with greater clarity, greater humility, and a deeper trust in your own inner voice. And maybe this is where the real shift happens. So, if you've ever felt that moment of disappointment, that moment where something didn't quite align, I want to gently remind you, nothing has been taken from you. The healing you experienced, the insights you gained, the awareness that awakened within you, that's still yours. That was always yours, and no flawed human being can take that away. If anything, moments like this are an invitation to deepen your discernment, to strengthen your self-trust, and to continue walking your path, not by following someone else's light, but by honoring your own. Thank you so much for being here with me today, beautiful souls. If this episode resonated with you, I would truly love to hear your thoughts. Feel free to share in the comments. Have you ever experienced this on your own journey? How did it shape your path? And if you've found value in this conversation, please take a moment to like, follow, and share this episode with someone who may need to hear it. Your support helps this message reach the people who are ready for it. Until next time, keep showing up for yourself, keep trusting your inner voice, and remember, your power, as always, has been within you. Thank you so much for sharing your time with me today. I truly honor you for being here and for choosing to do this deeper work. If this episode resonated with you, I'd love to stay connected. You can sign up for my newsletter at empoweredbythestorm.com/newsletter. And when you do, you'll receive a free copy of my How to Love Yourself workbook as a thank you. My book, Empowered by the Storm, is also available on Amazon if you'd like to go deeper into this work on your own time. And if you're feeling called to more personal support, you can visit my website to explore private coaching and see if it feels like the right next step for you. Until next time, be gentle with yourself, trust your journey, and remember, your healing matters.